Everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with another one-page layout following along with the Cherry on Top's weekly sketch challenge. That was the sketch that I showed at the beginning of the video. And I am using the Lake Life collection from Bella Blvd. I have two photos from quite a while ago. I think maybe spring of 21. I decided maybe with these sketch challenges I will go and kind of scrapbook my older photos. It might be just the inspiration that I need to get these photos scrapbooked. So in the layout they had three smaller photos, but I have two 4x6 photos. And they had the white cardstock or the white base, I guess, on the outside. However, I decided, what if I took a busier pattern paper and added the white strip down the middle and kind of flip-flopped where the pattern paper was with the cardstock? And I really like how this looks. So I guess I could have done strips of the blue paper instead of using the full 12x12 paper now that I'm looking at it. But while I was doing it, it seemed like a great idea just to cut the white cardstock down a little bit instead. So I think my white cardstock is 6 inches. I wanted to make sure that I had enough white space on either side of my photos. I went into this layout really wanting to use some of my stash as well, and one of those pieces being film strips from 49 and Market. And so I wanted that white space or extra white space so that those would show a little bit better. I did want some separation between my pattern paper and my white paper, so I went and found this green cardstock, which matches well enough, I guess. And so I cut just 1/4 inch strips, and I'm just going to place that along the sides of my white cardstock there. I did think that would have been a great place to add some stitching along that green strip. I might have had to cut that wider. I don't end up stitching this though. Ever since I did my last stitching video, I had somebody comment that they wanted a kind of a tutorial on how I stitch, and that will come. I just haven't had any stitching on a layout yet, so stay tuned. I will do a little stitching video. I am by no means an expert. I really just started this past October when I attended She Loves Colors. So I only do one stitch, but yeah, I will definitely make sure that I do a tutorial on that in case you're interested in stitching. But again, I just have to come up with a layout where I want to stitch and actually follow through with it, I guess. So with my photos, I wanted to kind of overlap them, kind of crooked, I guess. However, I don't know why it was bothering me to add the film strips that way with my photo kind of angled at the opposite direction, if that makes sense. So I ended up adjusting the angle of each photo so that I could add a film strip. I have kind of a navy and then kind of like a aqua, I guess, film strip, and I thought about using two, one at the top and one top left, and I guess one at the bottom right. But I just commit at this point to the top left. Now, though, I kind of had to figure out how to embellish that. You know, I wanted that to be the base for my embellishment cluster. So I had to go into my stash. This here is just like my Lake Life collection. I actually bring in a couple of pieces from my stash, which I'm pretty proud of. I have so much kind of random stuff, I guess, that I did bring inside from the She Shed in hopes to use it. So I have one of the 3-tiered carts sitting next to me inside with some random embellishments, and I found this I guess, pack of tags from Felicity Jane, and one just is a grid, and I decided to use that one. They had the reinforcers, and one of them was a really pretty yellow flower, which I thought matched my background paper really nicely. So I did use that reinforcer, and then I went in and I had a few packs of embellishments from She Loves Color. I think it's Allie Edwards, if I remember correctly. And I thought I was going to use that, I think it was acetate, but decided to look in these circular stickers here, and it said, "Let's go." And I thought that was perfect. These pictures were taken at my, cousin's kind of campsite. They kind of camp all summer long. And I had some flares from Scrap and Happy Studio that were camping flares, that I originally thought I wouldn't use, but I went back and looked, and one of them said just camp. And so I thought, if I add that circular "Let's Go" and then added the flare from Scrap and Happy Studio, the title kind of reads "Let's Go Camp." And I really liked the way that looked and came together. I do add camp to the left-hand side. I wanted to kind of cover up the bottom of the tag. So ideally, "Let's Go," the camp flares probably should have been on the right-hand side, but I felt like it looked better on the opposite. So that kind of takes care of the upper cluster. I did then have to figure out how to embellish the rest of it. On the sketch, it did have 3 kind of smaller clusters. They are using a lot of tickets and tags. I don't have a bunch of tickets and tags. I did find a tag, and I might journal a little bit on that top left. If I remember correctly, these photos here are actually taken right before my sister moved from Michigan to Florida. So I might just journal a little bit on that tag because it is just a grid. So I'm going through the embellishment pack trying to figure out what to use. I found that little phrase that said "relax and enjoy," and I thought that was just perfect. And then some flowers, which, going with the background paper, I think this will go in my son's album, but I really like the flowers. So I decided to go with a red one there. I did find some little tag flags as well. So I am going to kind of add 2 of them underneath of this "relax and enjoy." One of them says "family," and I thought that was perfect because you got my sister and then you have my mom on the bottom. So I thought it was just the perfect little addition, I guess, to this cluster here. I did add some of these like greenery pieces. It blends in a little bit with the background paper. It does have a white background to the actual piece, so it does help a little bit. With adding that red flower to the right hand side, I really wanted to make sure that I had red in the other clusters as well. I just felt like that stood out so much. So you can see that I did add a red flower up to the top left just to bring in that color up there. And then down in the bottom, I have a frame and then another flower that I thought looked adorable, kind of popping out behind the photo and into the frame. And then I found that red heart that says "play," and that was how I incorporated red to the bottom cluster. And then just brought in another flare from Scrap and Happy Studio. We don't camp as often as maybe I would like to, and so having this set of flares from Scrap and Happy Studio with the same colors of this collection, I knew I wanted to try to incorporate it once I kind of went with that theme. Originally, I didn't think I was going to do a camping theme with this layout, but it just worked out that way. Technically, we were at the campsite, and so I decided to run with that. But that is going to finish off this layout. I will link Lake Life down below, and then I will link up above a video that I did showing how to participate in the Cherry on Top weekly sketch challenges, because you do get cherry points each week for submitting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this layout, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.